Absolutely. So you grew up in Scotland
Yes.
and you started swimming at the age of 7.
Done your homework.
Drew you? Yes. What drew you to the water back then?
At the beginning, it was pure fun and enjoyment. My older sister was a swimmer, my older cousin was, and I think there's only so many swimming carnivals you can be dragged to before you find yourself following in their footsteps. So,
Yeah.
you know, they've been big role models and inspirations to me all my life. So I followed them into the sport, found a love for the water, made all my best friends through the sport, and, you know, discovered I was not that bad at it along the way.
All those surroundings there and the whole environment, what did it teach you about grit?
I think sport can teach you so much that you just can't learn in the classroom. How to set goals, how to work towards them, how to deal with success, how to deal with failure, how to work with others, you know, seeing people at their best, but also being there in the journey when you're in your lows as well.
Yeah.
You know, timekeeping, being able to organise a schedule for training. You know, for me, for example, I'd wake up and I'd go for training for 2 hours before school, and then I'd come home and go training in the evening and do another 2 hours then. So trying to manage that with your homework and school commitments, like all these different things, having a life outside of that, I think it's a really amazing path, and has certainly had such a huge impact on my life in developing characteristics like grit, because it's not every day that you wake up and you want to jump into a cold swimming pool at 5:30 in the morning. How do you learn to be persistent and keep showing up and putting the effort in when everything in your body tells you that you don't want to? So yeah, that over time, I think really leads to a lot of resilience and determination.
Moved then to Perth in 2013. Was that the first time you tried out swimming in open water?
It largely was, Carolyn, yes. So, you know, growing up in Scotland, we weren't really known for swimming out in the sea or the ocean there. It was bloody freezing, you know, not cold enough in the air, never mind the water. But I moved out to Western Australia. I was 21 at the time. And, you know, I'd been a competitive pool swimmer all my life. Raced for Scotland, had aspirations to race at the Olympics. But over here, I discovered this completely new aspect to the sport, which was open water.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had a brief chat about it before we started this conversation, but just the lifestyle is so built around the ocean and the beach and being in the open water. It's just ingrained into everything it means to be an Australian. So I naturally found the people around me were all doing it, so I naturally found myself again gravitating towards that, and I followed in the footsteps of my teammates who were some of the best open water swimmers in the world, Heidi Gann, Simon Hutenga. I followed in their footsteps and found myself also in the open water.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Indian Ocean is right at your doorstep.
Exactly.
Right,
one of the nicest oceans in the world to swim in.
And if you're into swimming, then you're kind of drawn there automatically.
Drawn there automatically, and we've just got such an amazing, like, not just the culture, but the ecosystem around it. You have all the surf lifesaving clubs, Royal Lifesaving, the events like Rottnest Channel Swim, Bustleton Jetty Swim. Like, they're some of the biggest open water associations and events in the world, and we've got them right here on our doorstep, so it's just perfect for that.
So can you recall a moment in your life where swimming sport became something more, like with a deeper meaning, like a purpose or calling than just a sport?
I can, and you know, the thing with sport, particularly performance sport, is it can be quite self-focused. You know, you're really having to prioritize your training, your competitions. A lot of other things fall at the wayside because of that, like the amount of parties I missed, or birthdays, or other things because I had to prioritize working towards these goals, and I did that for a good number of years,
Yeah.
right into my mid-20s, and
Should go up there.
yeah, we're
It's like
slipping
you're
a little
going,
bit
like,
down the beach.
down.
Yeah.
It's like, where is he going? Ding, 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 ding. We can swim.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to get you to do. It was like,
That's what we're
follow me
going to
in
do
there.
at the end. Nah.
I can. I think
Yeah.
it can be quite selfish in nature, and it wasn't really until I had fallen short of those goals and aspirations. I
Yeah.
wanted to race for the Olympics for my country. I
Yeah.
fell short of those aspirations. I moved away from the sport for a number of years, and it wasn't really until I got back into it, I came at it from that same angle of fun and enjoyment, which is where it all began. It almost came right round full circle, and along the way, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon,
Yeah.
in that journey I found, right, there's a way to have fun, target goals and growth,
Yeah.
but also inject some purpose into it as well. So
Absolutely.
that was around COVID, and I'm sure we'll talk about it
Yeah. Because
more
in
soon.
2016, you tried to get into Olympics and it didn't work out, which must be quite heavy mentally, I would say. How did you feel about that at that time? How was your mental health? Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
A lot of performance sports like swimming, it can be very black and white in terms of success and failure, in terms of you either made it or you didn't, you either won a medal or you didn't, or you hit a PB or you didn't. And back then, I had fallen short. I'd put in all the work. I felt like I'd trained and done enough to be competing at that level, but every time when crunch time came around, I wouldn't perform. I think there was a level of self-doubt and lack of self-belief that I was good enough to be at that level and competing on that stage. So I bombed out, and it was hard.
Yeah.
I felt like a failure. I felt like I'd let people down. All the guys around me who'd helped me on that journey, it was tough, and I was in my mid-20s at that time. I thought, well, do I have another 4 years in me to go for another Olympics? I decided no. And I threw myself into a job instead, and it's a difficult thing because you go from being up here in your sport and having your whole identity and life built around a training regime and being, Andy, the performance athlete, to, all right, I'm now in the world of work, and I'm starting down here. And so it is a hard transition to make, and I certainly swept a lot of unprocessed feelings of guilt and shame under the rug as I moved on.
You stopped swimming after that, straight away, and then you went back into corporate jobs, and you also traveled around the world. COVID hit.
You've done your homework.
And then, your mental health while traveling wasn't at peak, and then you had to return to Perth, and that was kind of like a
turning point.
Yeah, a turning point. Do you want to tell us more about it? Why?
Yeah, so the 4 years or so that I was really throwing myself into my work, I'm an accountant. I felt like I was playing catch up, so I really threw myself into it. I was working around the clock, burning the candle at both ends, trying to do my professional studies at the same time. So a typical day was like 9 to 5, and then another 3 hours of reading a book on other aspects of my life weren't being looked after. I wasn't looking after my physical health. I wasn't swimming so much. I wasn't spending as much time with friends or family.
Yeah.
And this imbalance threw me a little bit over the edge. And I had a few things that happened in 2019 which got me thinking about what I was doing in life. My boss got fired and his workload got put onto me, so I was stressed out my eyeballs.
Yes.
I went through a relationship breakup, wasn't being the best version of myself to my partner at the time. And then I lost a close friend from swimming who'd been on a similar journey to me and had fallen short of his goals. So that was a wake-up call, and sometimes that's what it is. Like, you don't realize you're in trouble until something gives you that wake-up and shake to go and make a change. And that's ultimately what led me to go travel. Take a bit of a breather to figure out, all right, I don't think this is the path for me. I'm not becoming the best version of Andy to myself and to the people around me. Let's take a time out, figure out what that looks like, and go travel the world. So I did that for a good 10 months, covered a good 30 countries, all around Europe, the Middle East, South America, Central America, and then, March 2020, a little thing called COVID happened, and I had to I had a decision to make. Do I stay where I was, which was originally my plan, wait till it all blows over?
Where were you at that moment?
Nicaragua, in Central America, working, of all things, as a volcano tour guide.
Fun!
So, in another life, you could have been taken down the slopes of Cerro Negro by a long-haired Andy Donaldson. So
that would be fun.
It was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So it was either stay put, go back to Scotland, or go back to Perth. And thankfully, I found myself back here. Getting back into swimming, it was almost by luck.
Yeah. Because you then met someone here, a friend, kind of like a friend/mentor for you.
That's it, exactly.
And he pulled you back into the water as well.
Exactly.
So would you say that
it's one of those coincidental characters?
And getting back into swimming actually helped you to heal, and also kind of like a presence tool to help you get back to yourself.
Exactly. So, I'd had a great time traveling. I was, having all these amazing experiences, but I lacked purpose or direction in life. I was just running away from my problems, not actually addressing them. My first day out of quarantine, I was staying at my sister's at the time, and she also lives here in Western Australia. We decided to go down the beach, and lo and behold, bump into this old friend and mentor of mine, Martin Smoothy, and he clocks me and he's like, Andy, where the hell have you been? You've not been at any swimming meets. I haven't seen you down at the water. We need to go for a swim. And, little did I know back then just how impactful that would be in my life. But every morning during lockdowns, when we were allowed to exercise and go outside, of course, myself and Martin and another gentleman, Krishan J. Ratnam, we would swim along the coast from Trig Beach all the way along to Sorrento Beach. I fell back in love with swimming. You've got all the body movements. Full body workout. You're getting the endorphins from being active. You are being alone with your own thoughts in the water. There's no mobile phone. You're not listening to music. You're unplugged. The senses are dulled. And you're just fully immersed in nature. In today's world where we're always connected and there's all this hustle and bustle and noise, one of the few places that you get to really be fully immersed and fully present with what you're doing and in nature as well. So I realised how impactful it was for my mental well-being. That really kick-started the journey that I'm on.
When you went back into the water, did you think about the moment, I missed the Olympics? Did this thought come back?
Not at all, no. It was back to that reason why I started all those years before. It's like, I just love this. you're a kid starting a sport, you don't think about these goals and metrics that you have to meet. You think about what do you experience in the present. Like, I really love swimming, or I really love playing the piano. You know, you don't think I have to become this, or I have to reach these goals in order to be validated or to have worth. You know, it's just rudimental enjoyment and enrichment of your life, and that's where it was for me. I was coming from this place of just pure joy and love for what I was doing and how I was spending that time.
So, do you say that swimming is kind of a form of meditation for you?
Absolutely. They call it meditation in motion. Where it's a mixture of, well, if you think of what meditation is mindfulness, is presence, it's focusing in on one thing only. And that could be a whole bunch of different things. That could be focusing on how the water feels on your skin. It could be focusing on your technique. It could be focusing on your breathing, because in the water you can't just breathe whenever you want, so there's a breathwork element of it as well. So all of these things brought together, like, that is my time. I could be having the worst day possible at work, or a lot of stressful things going on, and then the moment I dive into the pool or into the ocean, all of that just completely dissipates away, and I don't have access to my emails, I don't have anything plugged in, I don't have music going on. It's just me and my own thoughts, and I've got time to process everything and be fully present and just really relish the moment in the water.
Absolutely. It's just you, the breath, and it's very silent in there, isn't it?
It's hugely, and you know, you do get these underwater earphones. I've tried them. It's kind of cool because I can listen to my 90s pop music and like no one judges me, but like I don't want that, because it's just, this is one of the very last remaining places where you can have that solitude for a good considerable amount of time. So I'm quite protective of that space.
So what would you say, what is one non-negotiable presence tool you use every day?
I have more than one.
Okay.
I've got quite a lot. And look, I think it's important to understand why we need to be present. I hope I'm not jumping into another question that you're thinking of asking about.
Yes, no.
But with presence, all right, in your relationships, it can be really important. Like, how many times have we ever been having a conversation with someone and they're looking at their phone, or they're not actually listening to you, they're thinking about what to say next. Or, you know, if I'm thinking of my sport of swimming, if I'm really working on my technique, I have to be really focused on what I'm doing, otherwise I'm not going to get better at it. Work, for example, I think there's this big emphasis on being present, but equally, what's the opposite side of presence? Distraction. I remember hearing this statistic with distractions that it takes, on average, 23 minutes to regain your focus after you've had an interruption. 23 minutes, 15 seconds. It's a study by University of California. For someone to regain their focus after it's being interrupted. If you're at your desk and you're working on your computer, the email notification comes up on your Outlook, distraction, boom, gone. If you pick up your phone and you look at Instagram when you're in the middle of your work, boom, there you go, 23 minutes. How are you supposed to excel in what you're doing? Because you have to focus in on stuff. If you want to be good at something, if you really want to build something great, you can't half-ass it. You can't have one eye here, one eye here. It's the reason why you're not meant to drive and be on your phone. Like, the amount of, I don't know what the statistic is, but like the accidents just go through the roof. In terms of the likelihood of crashing when you're using your phone as you drive. We have to be diligent and present, and so I really try to safeguard that with all these little things. Things like I switch off all notifications on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go off when I'm in the middle of something. I limit myself to how many times I check social media every day. So, you know, it might be at lunchtime, it might be, 5 p.m., whatever.
Yeah.
I set a screen time limit every day, so I've got it tracking how much I'm using my phone, because I don't want to be mindlessly scrolling or going down the rabbit hole. Like, I've got stuff that I need to do, and that's going to cause me to procrastinate, even to the extent of sleep. Right. If I'm an athlete and I work hard in the pool, that's only one aspect of my training. Eating well is important. Making sure that I get, good recovery, and I'm doing my stretching and seeing the masseuse. And, the big one for recovery is sleep. If I'm going to bed and I'm looking at my phone, 10 minutes before I try to go to sleep, and I've got the blue light and I'm getting all these dopamine hits from seeing the likes and the comments on my stuff, I'm not going to get as good a sleep. So, how can we reduce how can we be more present? One thing is we can guard that by reducing the distractions. So, whatever those are, can you substitute them out for something that's more beneficial? So, I don't look at my phone before I sleep. I read a book now. Or I try to not have all these tabs open, and all these things are small. All these changes are so minute, but when you add them together, they seem small at the moment, but when you add them together, that's when you get major change. And if you can maintain that for time, hello. If you can maintain that for time, that's when you're going to make the biggest impact and change and transformation in your life.
Yeah, 100%. That's very, very well said. Which book are you reading right now?
I'm reading 2 books.
Yeah.
Non-fiction. I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. One of my favourite books. Yeah. If not my favourite book. And the other one is Lord of the Rings. It's been really nice to come back to it and just read for fun again.
You've not only completed one of the world's toughest open water swims in the world, but you also completed it as the fastest. These swims, they look very physically impossible to almost everyone who hasn't done it. The bigger battle though is mental training. How do you prepare mentally for big swims like this? Do you have specific pre-race rituals, presence tools before you enter the water?
It's a really interesting question. When it comes to taking on a marathon swim challenge, I'll explain what that is first. So, a marathon swim is swimming in the open water a distance of 10 kilometers or more. An ultramarathon swim is 25 k's or more. Under the traditional rules, no wetsuits. So if you're swimming the English Channel, for example, between England and France, 33 kilometers, you are doing it in a pair of Speedos. It is brutal. And then you're exposing yourself to all of the unpredictability of Mother Nature. It's not a swimming pool anymore. You're in the waves, you're pushed around by tides. You can be stung by jellyfish. You might see, let's call it more less friendly things out there in the water as well, so you have to deal with that. You're exposed to the sun, the salt, the wind. You might even swim into the dark. I've done that before, swimming in the dead of the night, so you don't see what is beneath you, or sometimes you can't even see beyond the ends of your fingertips. All of that is part and parcel of the sport, and it's not like one of those things that you wake up one morning and you think, I'm going to go swim the English Channel and I'm going to go do it tomorrow. It's something you have to prepare for, and what I find is, especially when I get asked to speak in the corporate world, everyone wants to know about resilience, which is all very well and good. Resilience is, the way I see it, resilience is being able to respond well in the moment. You know, if you encounter something bad, you experience adversity, you are able to respond, and I use the word respond, not react, respond well in that moment, because reacting, there's an element of emotion tied into it as well. Like if we get a triggering email at work and we go straight on to respond and react to it, you know, like you're probably not going to send something back that's that good. So resilience is key, but it doesn't matter how resilient you are. Like if you are not prepared, then you're going to have a hard time. So if you try to swim from England to France and you've done nothing to prepare for swimming in cold water, it doesn't matter how tough you are, like you're not going to make it across. The water temperature is anywhere from 14 degrees Celsius up to 18. That's like swimming here in Western Australia in the middle of the Swan River in the middle of winter. Something I had to do to prepare for it. So when it comes to mindset, I like to talk about being robust. Being robust. Like if you think of something that's robust, like you think of like a big tanker that no matter what the weather is like, if the waves are crashing into the side of it, like it can go the distance. Being robust means being prepared for the challenges ahead. How we approach things, and when I say we, it's me and my team, my coach, my handlers, like all these people that are involved in getting me from A to B, from here to my goal. We try to identify what the road ahead looks like. If I'm swimming from England to France, what are the challenges that we might experience? Like it's far, it's cold, we might swim in the dark, we might get stung by jellyfish. Like these are all the challenges. What can we do to be ready for that? Or for the distance, I'm going to have a swimming regime and get my kilometers in. I have to be injury free. I have to have good technique. Right, swimming in the dark. Okay, I'm going to go practice swimming in the dark so that if I have to on race day, I'm not so far out of my comfort zone because I've done it before. It's familiar ground. Swimming in the cold. All right, I'm going to have to maybe put on a little bit of weight to help protect my core body temperatures, or do a lot of ice baths. Like some people, I have a friend who swam from Ireland to Scotland, which again is even colder. He didn't take a shower for over a year that was hot. All cold showers. Like these are the levels of commitment that these people are doing in order to just get to the start line. But what that does is it gives you peace of mind. It means that when you step onto that beach and you get ready to swim out there across this body of water, you've done everything in your power to be ready for that challenge ahead. And it means you can be present in the moment. It means that you're not worrying about this or worrying about that, because you've done it all. You've prepared, you've had the conversations with your team about how you plan to execute it. You've got your nutrition strategy. You've got all of these kilometers under your belt coming into it. It's a combination of being robust and prepared, and then when you're out there in the actual execution of it all, having the tenacity to keep going forwards when you get thrown off course. You know, you can do everything in your power to be prepared, but there's some things that you just have to experience in order to learn. You know, for example, I've been in swims where my boat's broken down halfway across, and like you just don't know what to do in those moments. Like you don't know how you're going to respond. I've swum and encountered sharks in the middle of swims. Yes, I still have all my limbs. But again, it's like you cannot physically prepare for that. One of them, I think the toughest of all was a swim, and one of the hardest things about open water is you're not guaranteed to get across. These marathon swims, doesn't matter how good you are, like Mother Nature, if she's not willing to let you across, you are struggling, you are stuck. And I think one of the hardest moments of my life was, it was a swim called the Molokai Channel, 44 kilometers, and it's between two islands in Hawaii, Molokai and Oahu.
Yeah.
Beautiful part of the world, and the water's amazing. But this channel, it's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's got huge swells powering through there. The winds are absolutely so strong. And when I was swimming out there, I think we were about 7 hours in when I got this update from Jay Pritchell, my handler, that said to me, I'm really sorry, but in the last 2 hours, you've not really gone anywhere. So you've been moving basically on a treadmill, and what was happening was the currents were so bad and in the wrong direction that we were making no forward progress towards our goal. In a 44 kilometer swim, if you're going, well, basically going nowhere,
Wow.
it's a pretty humbling moment. And so we talk about those things that you have to experience. Like, that was one for me. Like, how do you keep going forward in those moments when nothing is going to plan and the end is just so far out of sight? It's really disheartening.
So during those swims, also the one you just completed in Ibiza, where you swam non-stop around Ibiza, what are the biggest mental walls you hit? And then do you have specific presence tools or anchors that keeps you moving? Or like sentences or affirmations you say when you're there in the water? Or are you just in the flow there and you don't think about anything?
So when you do a marathon swim, I often get asked, what do you think about? And it's a good question because these swims could be anywhere from 8 hours right up to, well, Ibiza took us 30 hours. So you're in your head, alone with your own thoughts for a long period of time. I like to try get into that state of flow. That's where my mind is working at its optimum.
Yeah.
I've done all the preparation. I've discussed all the team tactics with my team.
Yeah.
And all the responses if certain things happen. So I don't have to think about it in that moment in time. I could be fully in the state of flow and trust that we built all the systems around us so that we could just focus on execution instead of worrying about all these other things that might happen. Now, there's going to be moments where you're taken out of that state of flow. The state of flow is the optimum. You're running on automatic pilot. You're not burning energy from thinking, but what happens if you see a shark?
Yeah.
What happens if your boat breaks down? What happens if fatigue starts to set in? What happens if you start thinking about just how far you've still got to go left? Like, these things could take you out of that state of flow. And so you've got to have a toolbox of things that help you get back into it. We talked about that moment where I wasn't going forwards. That's the definition of, right, okay, crap, what do we do now? Things aren't going to plan, I'm pushed off course. How do we get back to there? So, I try to have my usual toolbox of things like, nice slow breathing and focusing on my breathing, or positive visualization, or self-talk with the affirmations. But sometimes none of that works. I was doing a swim from Ireland to Scotland, and I just couldn't get the feeling of cold out of my head. It was so hard. But you're not out there on your own. And that's something that you need to remember. And sometimes, so like in these swims, you always have a team beside you, and you're not swimming from Ireland to Scotland just willy-nilly out by yourself. But you have a skipper who's in charge of a boat that's going on along beside you. Your coach is there with you.
Yeah.
And I remember in that swim where I tried all of these things, these tried and tested tools, None of them were working. I thought, geez, I should probably tell the guys on the boat how I'm feeling. So I'm swimming along. I shout up to Jay in between strokes, and I'm like, Jay, arms are heavy, feeling fresh. You know, I never use the C word because like, I don't want to plant those thoughts in my head. I'm trying to think of Hawaii or something. But energy's good, you know.
Good.
And so he starts laughing, and we communicate on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And he just writes a simple message that says, you know, warmer drinks are coming. Remember, we're with you. And it's just as simple as that. And I had this complete weight taken off my shoulders, remembering that, yeah, I'm not in this on my own. Like, yes, I'm the only person swimming, but I have a whole team around me with me. And we're all sharing in this journey and struggle together. And when I need help, I can ask them for it. I need to let them know how I'm going. I don't have to do this all on my own.
Yeah.
And that was one of the real things in that swim that helped me continue to get through. Like, I wasn't out there by myself, and we heated up the drinks, we made them more frequently. I broke down the challenge into more manageable chunks. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you're climbing Everest, you're not looking to the summit, you're just putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
I was just taking it 15 minutes at a time, just get to the next drink. You know, I'm going to get a hot drink. That's going to help me keep going. Felt like a sort of blast furnace getting charged up every time I had a drink. It was so nice. And by the end of that swim, we'd gone from this position of being in real dire straits and unable to go for another 5 minutes, never mind another 5 hours, to almost breaking the world record in that swim. It was amazing. We were over it by just 4 minutes, but
Wow.
I couldn't have cared any less.
Yeah.
The lesson learned around the importance of teamwork and asking for help was so much more valuable. You just need someone to share your struggles with.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a friend that comes up to you asking, have you got 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want you to fix their problems. They just want someone, an ear to listen.
Yeah.
Someone to,
Exactly.
what Simon Sinek calls,
Be there.
sitting in the mud with you.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
there for you, hold space for you.
Yeah.
And there's so much power in that, just being present with someone and holding space for someone.
One wants to know as well, when you have the shark encounters,
Ah,
when you have the jellyfish encounters, when you, for example, lose your support boat, how do you regulate those moments of fear? And also, how do you not panic?
I've seen 3 sharks in my swimming career,
Yeah.
which, considering how much time I spend in there, is
Yeah.
actually not that much. Funnily enough, in all of them, I've never felt threatened. And it's a really interesting thing. We talked briefly about the Molokai Channel and how challenging that was. That was the one where I experienced my first shout. So the Molokai Channel,
Yeah.
44 kilometers, and we were swimming across it at night time, pitch black. And it must have been about 11 p.m. where I was swimming along and I can't see the bottom of the water because it's 700 meters deep. And I see these shapes darting past. And it was dolphins. I was like, whoa, geez, and my heart is racing. But at the same time, like, this is amazing. Like, you've got these beautiful creatures under the water, and they were jumping around, swimming beside me, playing, making those dolphin screeches, and you're sharing the elements with them in that moment. It's actually really, really special. So I was with them for maybe 10 minutes before they went away, and then continued on and did my own thing and continued swimming towards Oahu. And a couple hours passed, and must have been right in the dead of the night. Anywhere from 5 to 7 meters under the water, right directly underneath me. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, the dolphins are back. You know, any second now I'm going to hear those dolphin screeches, you know, and
Yeah.
5 seconds passes, 10 seconds
gosh.
passes, 15 seconds passes. There's no dolphin screeches. I'm like, holy crap, that's not a dolphin, that's a shark. We talked a little bit about it earlier. You just don't know how you're going to react or respond in those moments until it actually happens to you. And for me, I couldn't quite believe it, but my body just kicked in, and I thought to myself, if I start reacting to this thing's going to think I'm prey. If I start splashing around in fear, it's going to know that, it's going to sense it, and it's going to come for me. So if I can fight all my natural urges and instincts and just stay calm, I think I'm going to be okay in this moment. And luckily, that's how things played out. I think trying to respond rather than react in those moments when fear's starting to take over, that could be a really useful thing. Allows you to think rationally in those moments. I remember my kayaker had a shark shield. Shark shield is like a cable that emits a frequency that drives away the shark. So I swum all the way over to him. I was staying beside him and basically hugging the kayak right up beside it. And because it's in the middle of the night, I think he thought I was going off course, so he started paddling away, and I'm like, no, come back, come back. I couldn't tell you how long it was. It could have been minutes, it could have been 10 minutes. Like, this thing was there, and then it disappeared. But for every encounter with something negative, or what's perceived to be negative, like a shark, there's also so much beauty out there in the water too, or even in those experiences as well. Like, how many people get to experience swimming with and feeling that connection to something else in the water? There's a beautiful quote that says, even in the darkness there still shines the brightest lights. Like, there's beauty in the darkness if you care to look for it. In that same swim later on, one of the moments that we briefly touched on was that moment where I found out I wasn't going anywhere. I remember flipping onto my back in that moment just to take a breath, trying to not let the overwhelming feelings kind of take over.
Yeah.
And I just looked up at the sky, and there was just stars completely scattered across the night sky. It was just amazing, and I look for the positive in that moment. How many people get to see this? Like, this is amazing. With all the crazy things happening in the world at this moment, I'm here by choice, getting to do something that I love. I'm supported by amazing people on this boat. I'm working towards this goal of completing the Ocean 7, the 7 toughest channel swims in the world in a year, raising money for charity, which is something I'm really passionate about, mental health. I'm inspiring others in this journey, and I feel like even though my family aren't with me on the boat, they're with me in my heart, and I want to keep going for them. I thought back to my why. Why am I doing this? Part of it was that charity reason. Part of it was to inspire others. Part of it was, the personal aspect of this second chance to really excel at something in sport that it's not a competition against other people, it's a competition against myself. You use the word anchors. I think that's a great word. Having those anchors. What's your why? What's your team around you? What are the positive things you can look for in the darkness? Little things like focusing in on your breath. There's a whole toolkit that you can equip yourself for the journey to utilize when you need it. And you'll find yourself just trying different things and learning so much about yourself along the way. It's actually just amazing.
What would you say has the ocean taught you so far about yourself? Big question, I know. Sorry.
The ocean it's taught me so much. It's like a university of life, where go in with your best foot forward. It will teach you things that you didn't plan to learn. It teach you about patience. It will teach you about self-control, how to deal with doubt, how to deal with unpredictability. You get moved around by the ocean so much, and you have to learn to be flexible and adaptable to that. It teaches you about the importance of nature and how impactful it is on well-being. It teaches you that there's nothing stronger than Mother Nature. If I think of what it's taught me, it's given me all of the best qualities that I have. I'm just so grateful for the life, the lessons I've learned, the people that I've been able to meet and create bonds and really close relationships with. What's impacted, I think, for me is the people that you surround yourself with, because you become a product of your environment. If you're surrounded by the right people, people that inspire you, that push you, that you can learn from, that you can go to in time of need, that you can get excited to be around and pursue goals together. People go further when they go together. And I know it's not a presence tool per se, but you have to have presence in order to maintain relationships. Relationships are key, and presence is such a key part of what makes a real true bond. In terms of presence tools, being able to give someone your time and your energy, limit the distractions when you're dealing with people, be fully present in the moment. Don't have your phone in one hand or your AirPods in. Know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. You're never alone. It is hard in those moments. You feel like your back's against the wall, or you don't see any way out or any way forward, and everything in you is just telling you to give in. If you can, stick your hand up and ask for help. It can be difficult. You don't want to put that burden on other people, but at the same time, it's a privilege to be able to help someone. It is so enriching in life to be able to help others, and you're denying them that opportunity if you don't stick up your hand and say you need help in those moments.
Sunrise or sunset swim?
Sunrise swim. I'm a morning person.
Inner dialogue or external motivation when you're in the water?
External motivation.
Yeah. Through your team. What do you respect more, the open ocean at night or the depth of the water?
Dark.
Dark.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
They're both scary,
Yeah.
but the dark, you're completely out of what is considered normal. It is completely out. Like, it takes anyone, even if you're experienced, it takes a lot of metal to really stay calm and swimming in the dark, because you cannot see anything. You can't see below, you can't see beyond the end of your fingertips. It's terrifying.
Meditation or breath work?
Breath work. In Ibiza, we were doing a lot of Wim Hof bubble breath stuff, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
It helped me to feel really good, especially when I was getting in the water. Doing that beforehand, it makes you focused and calm.
And last one is trust your training or trust your intuition when you're in the water?
Trust training.
Training.
Because that gives you the solid foundation to be able to trust your intuition when you're out there.
Done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.